Ross Chastain used the wall all the way around this racetrack. Logano has been the class of the field.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
Yeah, I need to change my underwear.
With practice and qualifying in the books from New Hampshire, Brian and I are in to talk all things DraftKings ahead of the Mobil one, 301, and we're going to figure out who's going to lift the lobster come the end of the race. Brian Twining. Michigan just got a win against Nebraska. Do you feel better, worse, or the same about your squad after today's game?
I don't think it really changed much. I wasn't that high on Nebraska to begin with. Matt Rule is everything he does is fake. There's a giant facade of them being good. All the teams he coaches. Dylan Raiola I don't even know if he's a real person. I mean, the fact that he tried to say that he's his own person when he has modeled his entire image after Patrick Mahomes, everything from the hair, the look, the number, his mannerisms on the field, and for him to try to come out and say that that's not what he's doing is asinine. And then obviously Michigan's defense looked like they did. They bunch of stupid boneheaded mistakes. They're very young, but I don't know. The true test was Oklahoma, and we got to see what that was with a young team. They got stomped. So we'll see as the season progresses. Now, working into NASCAR, it feels effing fantastic to be sitting on a long Blaney number. But as we've said numerous times, the favorite just does not win in 2025.
Yeah, and it feels like whenever Ryan has the best car, he doesn't convert on Sunday, so it feels terrible. So
yeah,
maybe we should look to prop swap our tickets into other markets, or we figure out how to kind of fade the other side.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about, a lot to get into, a lot to go through. So I'll just pull up the DraftKings pricing and we'll run through kind of our thoughts of the drivers, because I think there is some good discussions to be had. Let me present my screen here and we can go through it. This one and this bad boy. As always, check out our friends over at Win the Race. 30% off or 40% off, $30 through the end of the year. Highly recommend getting in there, getting in the Discord, talking through all of the fun and thoughts, and we have a good in-race chat and all that good stuff. While you're here, make sure you smash that like button. Click subscribe if you get to do that. We are here twice a week, getting you through the end of the NASCAR season. Brian Twining, Christopher Bell, starting 19th. We've talked about kind of, obviously, at this track, he's been great. At shorter, flatter tracks, typically, he's pretty great. But he's also, of late, not been quite as good. So starting 19th, he's the most expensive guy on the slate. Is he the banana on the racetrack, or is he somebody that we should be jamming in? Because I feel like there's no in between.
Yeah, I think you go with two different plans this week. You either fade the hell out of him, or you have to put him into every single lineup, because I don't think there's going to really be an in between. Bella's either going to be awesome, or he's just going to be mid and run pretty much where he qualified. I mean, yes, he dominates New Hampshire. This is his playground. As we said the same thing with Kyle Larson last week at Bristol, and only to see him run around and not be a contender all day. Now, we got a new tire here at New Hampshire, something we've never run at this track. But Bell did test, but on this same rubber, Bell wasn't that great at Richmond earlier this year. So there is some cause for concern for me, and knowing how much like he's going to be rostered. I mean, we're probably looking at 40+% of lineups are going to be putting Christopher Bell in there just based on his history here. Because I'm naturally a contrarian, I tend to lean towards fading. Now that's extremely dangerous, but there are other guys who could be really, really good here.
Yeah. Well, and I know we talked a little bit about Chase Briscoe in a similar spot last week where he was starting 32nd. We're worried about him getting stuck. Obviously things worked out and he was amazing, but he's also, he looked incredible in practice and kind of was able to convert that with some little bit of stage break luck. It was also interesting to hear him talk during his interview about liking the handling of the car, feeling good about where it's at, and it just being slow. So it's a question of, can they get it faster? And is that faster going to be something he's still happy with and he can handle well? Or is it going to be kind of a disaster? I don't know. He's going to be somebody that's hard for me to jam in, but I might be the idiot.
I do think it's definitely possible this week to play Bell with a couple of other guys that should be extremely strong. But again, like if he doesn't put this car, say, top 5 or top 3, it's not really worth the cheese that you're having to pay on this, because he is the most expensive guy on the slate, and you're potentially missing out on a ton of other points from guys that are cheaper.
Yeah. So let's talk about the rest of that like 10K group. So we have Hamlin at 11. We have Briscoe 10-7, who's also starting 18th, who, if you want to save $500, could make a lot of sense. And we talked about how good Briscoe can be, but he doesn't like this track and has never really been awesome here. But the 19 in history has been pretty good. So he said he was really relying on James Small. So that's another, decision point. Obviously, Blaney looked amazing. We'll be starting on the front row next to his teammate Joey Logano, who's at 10K. And then we have Kyle Larson sandwiched in between, who's starting 16th at 10-2. I mean,
see what I mean? Like you could save $1,000 and get a similar result from a guy like Kyle Larson. Yeah. Maybe not necessarily the same upside in terms of winning here, but a top 5 run, sure, why not? At $1,000 less, and it runs the possibility that he actually finishes ahead of Bell.
All right, so rank them: Bell, Briscoe, Larson, price, starting position, everything. Who would be your first, second, and third choice out of the 3?
Slightly into Larson as number 1, Christopher Bell easy right behind him, and Chase Briscoe a very distant third in that group.
Yeah, I think Briscoe's clearly the third option. I might go Larson just because I can save $1,000. And
well, interestingly enough, from what I saw in practice, now obviously it's hard to take away a lot from this because the race is going to be over cloud cover potentially tomorrow as we record this on Saturday.
Why would we want our practice to mimic what the race may look like?
Yeah, but that being said, the one thing I did notice was Toyotas looked to be a little off on the long run comparatively to the Fords and the Chevys. So I don't know if it's just a manufacturer thing or maybe JGR in general, outside of Ty Gibbs, who I don't even consider him anymore.
Saturday Warrior, baby.
Times. But yeah, that was interesting for me to see. And Briscoe of the JGR camp was easily the worst.
Well, and isn't this like, obviously you want your short run speed for the end of the race potentially, but this is much more of a long run. You want to make sure you can stay out, use those tires and track positions. So you got to go with the guys that you trust. Let's talk about the other end though, because we have Log starting on the pole. We have our guy right YRB starting second, and then Dennis Hamlin, who has held that lobster a few times. There's some compelling arguments to be made. Is there a world where you go Logano over Blaney?
As a matter of fact, if I'm playing GPP, I think the move is going with Logano because like fading Bell, you get a large leverage on the field there because, most people are going to look at Blaney's practice, his qualifying. He's the favorite at the sports book and be like, oh, we got to put Blaney on there. But Joey Logano, the hardest guy to pass in the sport, is a 2-time winner here at Loudon, albeit a long time ago. He finished runner-up in 2023 and was a top 3-ish car all day last year before the shenanigans of the rain happened. Mind you, Logs was also incredible at Richmond earlier this year, same tire compound, and like Christopher Bell, also tested here.
He's gonna win, isn't he? You know what I'm doing, Brian? I'm going to the championship futures, and I'm betting Joey Logano.
I hate admitting it, but despite what we saw in practice, where Logano was a little bit off of Blaney on like the mid length run of practice, which is around like the 25 to 30 lap range, he did get quicker or had very limited fall off late in the run, which is something we know Joey is incredible at doing. And so, look, starting on the pole, I don't think you could ignore Logano as your potential dominator here in this race. And if you're getting really frisky, I would not hate playing both Logano and Blaney and then squeezing in a couple of, donkeys at the back end, because I think there's a world this looks very similar to like Phoenix.
It's so hard to play both of them to be delete enough laps and to score enough points for that to matter.
They could, but they could literally run 1-2 the entire race. I think that's definitely a possibility.
But Logano could like do what Jeff Burton did, where he just led every lap and won the race. Like that could be very much what he does.
100%. Yeah. I mean, especially too, if we get into a situation where they have to extend a fuel run, who do you trust more than a guy like Joey? Nobody. Yeah. He's going to have the best pit stall on the course too. Like, this is the most dangerous position the field can be in, with Joey Logano qualifying on the pole, number 1 pit stall. He looked decent in practice, and he was able to put down that type of lap. So he's got the short run speed. He can extend tires. He can extend to fuel, and he has that advantage on pit road. I mean, this is just everything is laying out perfectly for Joey to advance to the round of 8.
He's going to win this week. He's going to win Vegas, and he's going to make it to Phoenix. I'm going to have 20-something to 1 on him.
And then if he does do that, that mother effer is not going to cash his under 3.5 wins for the year, because he's going to win Phoenix to win the championship for win number 4.
Yep. And then even if Ryan Blaney gets there, he's going to run second to the logs.
Yep, exactly.
Why does this suck so much? Let's talk the next range, 9K. Byron, there's only not 2 drivers, so I'm going to include the 8K. Byron and Chase Elliott are the 9K guys. Reddick, Bubba, Ross Chastain, Ty Gibbs round out the 8K. Chase Elliott, is he the mover we need?
This is another track where it's extremely difficult to pass. And he looked good. He looked good. Nothing spectacular or anything of that sense in practice. So I don't really know what to do with Elliott. I do think you have to put him in a few lineups, but he's not somebody that I want to like squeeze into every single one of my plays, fully expecting him to run, 15th all day and then maybe crack the top 10. Outside of getting weird on strategy or lucking into a weird caution, he's not going to be able to, he's not going to drive through the field for a elite finish. He's going to need stuff to happen in his favor.
Yeah.
That's just the way that I look at him. Yeah.
Man, he really rubbed me the wrong way last week, and I'm trying to figure out if I should go back to the well or not. What about Ross? I feel like there might be something there.
The one worry about Chastain that I have is he is so aggressive, and I do think that he kind of tears up his tires a little bit more than others. But again, very similar to Logano with track position, I do kind of trust him to maintain that. And with him being, below the cut line at the moment, he's going to need to maintain that track position. And whether he's on old tires or not, he's somebody I do trust to prevent guys from passing him. And he's elite on restarts. So if we do get in a situation late in the race where, guys are out on old tires or something of that nature, and he needs to make up a few spots to be worth it, he's a guy that I would like to have in my lineup.
Yeah. He's interesting. He also showed good speed in qualifying, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Ever since the playoffs started, Chastain much better qualifying.
It's crazy how that happened. Anybody else? The 2311 guys, Byron, anything that you want to make sure?
So Byron was really good. I do think he's probably the sleepy the sleeper for the win this week. I mean, if
Okay.
anybody's just going to kind of lay there in the weeds and watch as everybody battle of attrition goes down and be there at the end, it's probably the 24 team.
It's interesting. He was pretty decently priced if you got him before qualifying.
Yeah, I think he was like 12 or 14.
I think there was like a 16 on him.
Yeah.
And now
he was pretty long.
that value has been sucked out. Will be interesting
I mean,
to see.
HMS has not traditionally been elite here. So
but
that's
if he can get anywhere near the front and stay there most of the day, I think
Yes.
he has a very good chance of winning. If he kind of falls back and is in that 10 to 15 range most of the day, he's just going to stay there.
Yep.
Tyler Reddick?
No.
Okay, good.
I'm not doing. I would rather. I mean, especially DFS wise, like give me Bubba Wallace, who had 2 top 10s to begin the Gen 7 era here, and then last year he was okay. But when you look at this year, Bubba was incredible at Richmond, quite possibly the best car. And then he's been good at these shorter flat tracks since like this back half of last year into this year. So I do think Bubba can make a few adjustments and maybe get a little bit quicker than what we saw in practice too.
Okay. He's in a sneaky spot where he's not
far
enough back, not crazy cheap. I think he could be interesting. Let's talk 7Ks. Kyle Busch, Chris Buescher, Brad Keselowski, Austin Cindric, Josh Berry, starting 3rd. Carson Hocevar, Ryan Preece. Let's start with Cindric, who we had some optimism about coming into the week. I know
still love Cindric.
Okay, good.
When he fired off in practice, they gave him the Logano car from I want to say it was like Darlington or something, where it was like the slowest we had ever seen a car go in practice. And then they came down pit road after 9 laps, made a few adjustments, and he looked awesome after that. And when you go back and it says 22nd here, but if you go back and you watch his qualifying lap, had he not gotten loose, he's starting on the front row or maybe just behind Logano and Blaney up with his Penske teammates and Josh Berry. So clearly the car has speed. He just overcooked the entry to 3. And so I do think Cindric, because he's in the playoffs, I don't trust him to drive past people by any means, but the car is there. And I think that they can make some aggressive moves maybe during the race to make up spots. And I still like him for a top 10 if you can get a decent number.
Yeah,
so
I noticed the lines even got a little bit shorter despite his poor qualifying effort. That's a good sign to see as well. So obviously we'll both be in on him. Beyond him, are you interested in it? Obviously not Kyle Busch, but the RFK boys. And then we could talk Berry and Hocevar as potential sneaky early dominators. Nope.
So I got to eat some crow on Josh Berry. How he qualified where he did, despite going out 5th, is just a testament to his driving ability on this track. And you know, it was extremely surprising. He looked fantastic in practice, quite easily the best car in that Group 1, which I've said this numerous times the last couple months. The best guy that stands out clearly above everybody else in that first group usually translates to speed on Sunday comparatively to the guys in the second group. So I do think he's going to be strong. But again, he's a grenade with the pin already pulled. It's just a matter of time before it explodes. So I don't fault people for playing him. If you got a long number on him to win the race, congratulations. But I don't even know if he's going to get past the end of stage 1. So I won't be playing him. I do think he's a sneaky play.
Yeah, him and Hocevar feel like grenades that the pin gets pulled once the green flag drops. And
to that point, Hocevar, he ran 32 laps in practice, and towards the end of that run, he was actually the only guy that was even coming close to matching lap times with Ryan Blaney. Again, though, do you trust Hocevar to get through the entire race? I don't really do that. I don't. However, I think you have to have a couple of lineups where you have one or the other in there, because there is a chance, the 2% chance that these guys can put together a full race, that they're racing up front. And so, they're not guys that you should completely ignore this week.
Yeah, it depends on how many lineups you're building and what kind of contest
Exactly,
you're doing. If you're doing some tournaments and you're getting aggressive, I think they both could be fun plays, but I'm not going at either of them in any sort of heavy capacity.
I'm not playing Josh Berry at all, just because I've been bad mouthing that team for the last couple weeks.
He's gonna win, man. He's gonna rub it in your face. Keselowski and Cindric.
You mean Busher?
That's what I mean. Keselowski and Busher. Interesting. Like Keselowski's had some decent runs at shorter water.
I'm over Brad. I'm older. I'm over the old fogies, except for Hamlin. Hamlin's the only guy that I have any faith in.
All right, let's talk 6Ks. Alex Bowman, AJ Allmendinger, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones, John Hunter, Daniel Suarez. I don't know that I want to click on any of these names.
The only guy there that is even semi-interesting is Austin Dillon, solely based on his ability at Richmond and the same tire. But
yeah, but I feel like we did this last week and we talked ourselves into him as maybe a sneaky play. But like, I think it's just a Richmond thing that he's good at.
Yeah.
I don't think it's everywhere else.
I mean, if you have to squeeze a guy in, I would rather play Dillon than a Jones or a Nemechek or a Suarez, who has essentially been locked out of Chevy meetings and Trackhouse. So I think if you're having to choose between them, I'd go Dillon, but he's not somebody that I'm clamoring to.
This feels like a range that like the upside for what the extra money you're going to be spending is.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
Let's talk 5K. So McDowell starting 11th. Man, that's gross. That's the other problem is McDowell and SVG are starting 11th and 10th.
Yeah.
Gragson is Noah Gragson, Ricky Stenhouse, Zane Smith, who we've been kind of sneaky on. Todd Gillen, the pickle man, is just not having the season we kind of optimistically thought he could. Justin Haley, Cole Custer. I'll include Herb Dillon and Cody Ware. Anything in this like sub 6K range that like if we're looking to get value and looking to find potential, we have to probably get gross, but I don't know like where that is.
I guess Gragson is probably the one guy. Gragson or Zane Smith are the two guys that I kind of lean towards. I mean, I've been on the Zane train for a few weeks now, and despite not cashing super long top 10s on him at all and playing them every single week, he's still kind of been in contention to do so. So I think Zane is interesting, especially with him starting 20th. Most people will probably gravitate towards somebody else because he's already kind of starting in that range where he usually runs. So you get a little bit of, leverage on the field in terms of his roster percentage there, but none of these guys are super exciting. You're just going to have to like pick one or the other in most lineups just to be able to squeeze the super expensive guys in.
Yeah, I'm wondering if we can just build lineups where we kind of live in this like 8K range, maybe high 7s, and don't really have to get super gross, but that may mean not being able to get heavy at the top, which honestly might be okay. So shall we build some lineups and see what happens?
Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm just going to click Austin Cindric. Would you like to go
Joey Logs?
Okay.
Yeah. It's gross, but
I think it's fine. I think it's good.
I hate it, but it's just...
Ryan Preece.
Yeah, I don't mind Preece just because he's always, this year in general, even though they've been quiet, he just always is kind of there at the end with a decent day.
Mm-hmm. He is starting a little far forward, but I think he could be fine. And this could be a week where the Fords are just the rock solid ones you need. What do you want to do? Do you want to get to like a Chase Elliott or...
Okay. Do you want to play Bell with this lineup and then go to Like,
So I want to figure out how gross we can get before I figure out if I want to get all the way up there. Because, like, I'm not super pumped to play Bell, and if that means I have to play, like, Stenhouse and Gregson to do it, I feel even worse about it. So I want to
okay, what about
see.
Larson?
Well, let's see. So if we do Zane Smith, I mean, that gets us all the way up here.
You could easily. I'm telling you, there is a
Larson,
lot of buildability this week at New Hampshire.
buildability.
Yeah.
Do you want to do Larson, Elliott, and then we can go like, I mean, maybe it is Zane, but like Stenhouse or Gregson or any of those guys?
I would much rather go Gregson if we're going to do any of these guys.
Okay, let's do Gregson. Can also go Josh Berry. Second Dom. Like, I guess is this line?
So you would do Barry instead of Priest, I think would be
Right, that's
would
kind of
be
what I
my
was thinking. Like, do we see a world like basically is the plan for Logano to lead like maybe
200 laps?
75% of the laps, and then Larson and or Cindric and or somebody is becoming a factor late? Is that kind of our thesis?
Yeah. I think for like finishing results, you're gonna get the placement points with a guy like Cindric or Larson and Elliott. And Logano with that number 1 pit stall, I just don't see them dropping below like 5th here in particular, unless there's a catastrophic mistake.
We can also do Bell and Bubba if you feel better, if you want to try that route with this lineup.
Man, that feels really good, but also a type of lineup that I think a lot of people might get to.
Yeah, but I think because we're going Logano as our dominator
Instead of Blaney.
or
Yeah,
instead of
let's do it.
Byron, I think it could be fine. I think it's a good lineup. Let's build another one.
As Kyle reveals all of his NFL.
Yeah, I've been building some NFL lineups. I don't know. I haven't entered anything yet. I'll see what I get up to tonight. I'll build.
Okay, this one has to start with Blaney.
Okay. Should we do Larson and Elliott in this one?
No. I don't think you can go double. Definitely not with Chase. I worry about his ability to make moves up the field.
Okay.
How do you feel about going Blaney and Barry as your 2 dominators to get different? Because doing Barry with Blaney should be a little different than what anybody else would do.
The thing is, I'd rather if we're gonna do the Barry thing, I like something like and then like Briscoe or Larson.
I would much rather do Larson, to be honest with you.
It's kind of crazy that he is $500 cheaper than Chase Briscoe, but this is the world we live in.
With the run that Briscoe's been on, I can see why, for sure.
Yeah. So I think we want to find at least one more guy that we think can move and potentially contend. And the idea is Barry is fast in the beginning, leads a bunch of laps, and then maybe finishes like 7th or something. We could also do this with a Tyler Reddick lineup. We could also do this with a William Byron lineup. I know it's not quite as cheap, but I think
I'm not a big fan of Reddick this week.
Okay, well then we don't.
Yeah, not with him starting 4th. Yeah,
I'm just thinking through the potential. I mean, we could put Ross into this lineup because he could be the other guy that contends and is leading laps, maybe even early. Okay.
I feel like having this core 4, it's 4 guys that I do think have the car and or are good enough to get to the front and potentially win. I think now we can get some movers.
Okay. Who's moving?
Did we play Gregson in the last lineup?
We did not.
Okay, yeah. So I think we do Gregson and then we see who we can squeeze in.
Kyle Busch.
No, hell no. Are you kidding me? Kyle Busch is more concerned with his freaking little blue pill and Brexton than he is racing on Sundays. Dude is in another dimension right now.
Brad K.
I would much rather play Busher. I
have 300. We can go up to Suarez. We could go up to. Yeah, I think that's so. We'll just save it. That feels gross. Maybe it'll be the one we need. Who knew? All right. So my question to you then is:
so we got to do Blaney because we didn't do Blaney yet.
Blaney.
Okay, what if, since we have the guy that so many people are going to do, Blaney with Hocevar?
Oh, God.
Nobody is going to do that.
Probably for good reason.
But look at what that opens up now. You can basically do whatever you want.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't think we can do Cindric in this one because we've already done him twice. I don't want to go 100% roster on him. I think this is like you pivot off of Cindric and maybe go Priest.
No, Eric Jones, John Hunter, Daniel Suarez.
No, I don't really like any of those guys.
Zane Smith. If I do that, then it gives us two 10K guys. And we could do Bell.
I mean, we could do. We did Larson twice already?
Just once.
All right, maybe we do Larson here. Unless you want this to be Blaney Byron.
See, that was what I was thinking instead of Hocevar.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. That's okay.
And then we just need to figure out.
You could still do Larson with this lineup. And then you just have to squeeze an absolute donkey at the end.
I mean, 7,500. I mean, we could.
Oh, just do it. F it. We're going down with the ship, folks.
I think we did it. I think it's fine.
We're going down with the ship for sure.
I love it.
Crashing and burning with.
This is my favorite lineup, so it's definitely gonna do the worst, but that's okay.
This feels disgusting. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Crushed it. Bell, Logano, Wallace, Cindric, Priest, Gregson, Bell, Larson, Busher, Cindric, Barry, Gregson, Blaney, Larson, Byron, Cindric, Priest, Zane, Smith. All right, we did it.
That means that Toyota's going to win since there's like very little to. We have one Toyota driver in all three lineups.
Cooked. Yeah, so I have Blaney at 7 on my current card and Briscoe at 8. So hopefully Briscoe's the Toyota that wins. And then you have Blaney at 7 and Cindric at 2-1. Let's look at the updated outright odds. Obviously, shop around as you see fit. I can hit the refresh real quick. I know FanDuel and a couple other sites had stuff open, which is pretty exciting given how close we are recording to qualifying ending and whatnot. But Blaney is basically 3-1 or less. Logano is like inside 6-1. He's like 5-something most places. And then it's some combination of Christopher Bell is 950 at FanDuel and 5 at Caesars.
Well, he just moved at Caesars. He just moved. He reopened at 850.
I feel like I want to add him at 950, but I feel like that's stupid. What do you think? He feels like somebody that you bet live if you have the ability to.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm leaning right now. Just because, again, going back to what I said about him at Richmond, the tire I don't know. If you have Blaney at the number that we have, or you have like Logano at double digits, I don't mind adding Bell right now and then just sitting on it for the race, just because if he looks much better than practice, are you going to be surprised?
No, especially at a place where he's been really good.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't sit here and say, "Oh man, I wish I would have gotten the 400 now," or like. And two, getting 8 or 950 at FanDuel, that is a crazy price at a track that he owns.
That's why I'm like, okay, it's going on the card. I can't help it.
Yeah, I think we both got to put that on.
I'm probably a victim of last week when he was 12 and didn't bet it, but I'm gonna add it. I think if you can get it at 9 or longer, it's worthwhile. I think 8 or shorter, and I know that's probably like not. What? How does that make sense? I think it's just at some point numbers get too long, and that's how I attack. So maybe it'll be.
I was just gonna say that's what you have to do. You have to play numbers.
Yep. All right, let me close that, and I can bring FanDuel back up. Beyond there, Hamlin, Byron, Larson, Reddick, Barry, Briscoe, Hocevar, Bubba. All those guys are inside 20-1, with Bowman kind of being the end. Similar here, Ty Gibbs is not until 22, so. Ross, Bubba, Carson, Briscoe, Reddick, Larson, Barry, Byron. Any interest in any of those kind of names? Any interest in Larson under the same premise, or do you think he's not quite as good as Bell? And it's, even though you're getting a longer number, it's not really worth it.
Yeah. Okay, so this is going to sound contradictory to what we said, or to what I said in the DFS thing, where Bell is a little bit boom or bust to me. In the betting market, Bell at 850 at a track, 850 or 950 at a track that he effing owns, to me is a good number.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of him popping and being amazing or terrible.
Yeah, like exactly. And you're getting double the price.
It's just what it is and what we saw, and he's just 18th all day, but you got him at 8 or 9 or 10-1. I think that's great. I think if you play him on DraftKings with 50% of the field and he's 19th all day, that's not as good. And that's
death. Whereas like Larson, he hasn't looked great at all.
Yeah.
At all since Indy, really. So, it's hard to get to him. He's definitely more so a live ad if he's there at the end. And then of course, I'm not playing Hocevar or Bubba or Chastain or Gibbs at 22 and shorter. Like, that's just ridiculous. They're just being priced protectively by the books because they looked okay. And essentially anybody can win here if they get out to the front, I think is what the books are thinking.
Yeah. Yeah. I grabbed 35 on Bubba pre, and I'm pretty happy with
great
that.
number. Yeah.
There's still a 28 at a favorite offshore, so that's interesting. Chastain's 33 there. I feel like that's interesting too, but we can talk more about that off.
I would wait live on Chastain because 20-1 is too short. 33 is a decent number, but I think you got to see his ability to stay near the front to want to fight.
Yeah. And maybe he was just got that short run speed, and after like 15 laps, he falls
Exactly.
off.
He just gets blasted past. Yeah.
Any longer numbers that you're contemplating?
No.
I mean, 30 on Chase Elliott. I know it's Chase Elliott, and I know he's way in the back, and I know it's not. It doesn't feel great at a place where. But that's kind of interesting.
None whatsoever to me. At what point this year have we seen Elliott not just be a race-winning car, but do so after looking mid in practice and then qualifying as bad as he did today?
I mean, I could say it, but you're gonna be like, it's a super speedway. So I was
Exactly. The excluding super speedway racing, which matters not to anything relevant to any other racing in the sport. You just haven't seen it. So, like, I mean, if he was 50, maybe. If he was Cindric at 40, maybe. But I'd rather play Cindric at 40 than Elliott at 30, as crazy as that sounds. Because at least you saw the speed in the car.
And while we have seen good results from him here, this is his run since 2016.
Who 34th,
13th, yeah, Chase Elliott. 34th, 13th, 11th, 11th, 5th, 29th, 9th, 18th, 2nd, 12th, 18th. The time he got second.
Okay, wait. Just what are the last two?
12th and 18th. And he finished 18th last year after starting on the pole.
He started on the pole.
And the time that he finished second, he started second. And the time that the other time he finished in the top 10, he started third and finished 9th, and started 10th and finished 5th. So when he starts near the front, he can finish near the front. But if he's in the back, well, he's never started.
He reverts to ace.
Average ass. And maybe for DraftKings, it'll be fine, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not playing him in the betting market at all.
Cindric?
I don't hate the 40 number on Cindric, because if he does get to the front, I think the car has the pace. But with him qualifying where he did, I just have a hard time thinking that he can overcome that. So he's definitely more of a placement guy, or Adam Live if he does somehow find track position.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all the value in Josh Berry is cooked.
Oh, yeah.
You can't bet Ty Gibbs at 22.
No,
like
but at least 22 and not 14 or 12 or whatever he was a couple weeks ago.
he should be with Cindric at 40. But again, I think the books are just protecting themselves.
Sure. Any other big thoughts, takeaways, drivers you're looking to add to your card, you're just not sure how? Where's your head at as we kind of look to wrap up today's episode?
Really, I mean, this is gross, but I think Joey Logano, obviously maybe live I'll do it, but him starting on the pole scares me. Anytime he gets that pit stall at a track where tire wear comes into play, he's won here before. This is not a speed-based track like an intermediate where he can fall back through the field because he doesn't have the actual pace. Yeah. So, yeah, it does feel kind of bad not having any Logano exposure right now.
Crazy. So crazy. Logano's somebody that, like I said, I'd rather just bet him to win the championship at this point. Maybe it won't end up working out, but I feel like if he can win this week, it'll catapult him into being in a good spot to win in the round of 8, and then be in a good spot to have a nice ticket when he gets to Phoenix. This is why we held all of our futures money, so we'd have a shot to find a way to cash some of those tickets. Of course, Brian and I will have our newsletter, aoppodcast.substack.com. Once again, aoppodcast.substack.com. Completely free to join. It comes in your email inbox every race day. You can also just check it out outside of that. We'll have our full betting card, our DraftKings write-ups, our Grid Rivals targets. I do some cash shell stuff. Bunch of different things in there, so make sure you're checking that out if you're building DraftKings lineups or betting every week. With that being said, that's Brian Twining. I'm Kyle Robert. Enjoy the rest of your race. Hopefully we can cash some tickets, we can win some money, and we can loop back on Wednesday to recap all that was, and talking about how Ryan Blaney finally did it for us and ended up in victory lane. So
I hope that doesn't come back to bite us in the ass.
Oh God, it always does. A recap really quick as I jump out of here. As I mentioned, it'll be on the newsletter, but I have Blaney, Briscoe, and C-Bell. Brian has Blaney and Bell with Cindric top 10. So go check out our newsletter. Smash the like on the way out, and we'll talk to you next time.